the Niners, if the Niners were to struggle this season, why? Here's why. Lay it out.
For the reason that the offensive line is going to be my biggest question going into it. It's funny, I'm almost taking your answers for the other reason, but the offensive line is going to be the main thing. Like, who knows? You know, it's possible that these guys end up being better than we all think they're going to be. But right now, that's the biggest question. And so the offensive line, if they struggle, the rest of the team is going to have a hard time. And then Debo, if Debo's not Debo, if that relationship with Trey Lance and Debo is not the same, if he's not being the guy that he was last year, that could be another reason. I think the last thing would be safeties. If Hufanga doesn't step up and be the guy that I think he can be, if he struggles, you know, the DBs are good, but the safety position is still a question mark for me.
Agree. Let's go back to the offensive line. A lot of people are saying, like, you know, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And I think some people are looking like, you know, we just talked about it. You know, maybe there won't be as many sacks as last year because they won't throw it as much. And Trey Lance can avoid some pressure. That's all true. But what's concerning about the offensive line, if it's so bad, what if it hurts the run game too? Everything, like, the Niners are going to have a dominant run game this year. They're going to lead the league in rushing. What if they don't block well? With Laken Tomlinson and Alex Mack and a healthy Mike McGlinchey, hell yeah, they will. They have, because I mean, the reason the Niners run game is so good is the blocking and the scheme. I mean, the running backs, no one says the Niners are the best running back in the league. They have good running backs who fit their scheme, but it's the blocking and the scheme. What if the blocking isn't there? What if Aaron Banks is bad? What if Jake Brendel is bad? What if Spencer Burford isn't good? What, you know what I mean? Like, what if Mike McGlinchey's hurt? Then they can't do it. It's not going to work, no matter how good the idea is or the play design. So yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah. And so let me add a couple more that popped up in my head. Another reason why the 49ers will struggle this season is because if Kyle Shanahan just doesn't use Trey Lance correctly, if he tries to, and yet one thing I'm really concerned
takes him too long. He figures out in December.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you should have played him last year. You could have figured it out.
Yeah, you know, Kyle Shanahan is known for being great at this stuff. But one of my concerns is if he's going to just turn Trey Lance into a straight running back.
Yep.
How long is Trey Lance going to be healthy for? And
having Jimmy could even embolden. Say, hey, we got a great backup, so actually we're going to run him more now.
That was
because I don't care if he gets hurt. Sorry.
My immediate reaction when they re-signed Jimmy was that, like, Kyle Shanahan is going to run the shit out.
No conscience. No, yeah. Look, based on what they were installing in training camp, that's my go-to take as well. Like, look, we tried to install a basic offense for you. You were erratic. So here's how we're going to have to win games. And it involves the triple option.
It's a concern of mine. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, and I'm sure it could be effective, but I'm thinking long-term, and like, I just would rather have Trey Lance healthy and figure it. Let Debo run it. Let Elijah Mitchell, let Mason run it. Like, let freaking Wilson run it. We don't need the threat of him is good enough. You know, let him run once or twice a game and that's it. But I have a feeling that Kyle Shanahan's going to do a lot more than that.
Okay. I know this is why the Niners are going to struggle, but let me say why they're not going to struggle, just to leave this segment on a positive note. Yeah. So look at Philly. Philly is a team that went, was it 10-7 last year? They made the playoff. They're similar to the Niners. Mm-hmm. And the Niners are sort of trying to reinvent themselves and to kind of be like Philly. I mean, Jalen Hurts isn't better than Trey Lance. And that's a team that I think led the league in rushing last year or was very close to it. And Hurts was a big part of that. And they didn't get him hurt. I mean, maybe they got him a little bit, but it could work. If it could work for Philly, it could work for the Niners. They have better weapons. It's just that Philly tends to have a good offensive line. They do. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. That's the big difference. Although I think most people say the Niners are better than Philly.
Yeah, I think everyone, everyone is.
If it can work for them, it can work for this guys, maybe? I don't know.
The run game is going to have to be great because the line that we assembled is a running offensive line. They're horrible in pass protection. So I think we are going to see a lot more running than I'm comfortable with. Yeah, and to go back to also in the preseason, there were not a lot of holes. I know Trent Williams didn't play, McGlinchey didn't play much, but the run game from the line standpoint didn't look amazing to me. At least with the first and second unit, got better with the third stringers out there actually. So it's a little bit deceiving, and maybe that's why Trey Sermon only, what he averaged, like 2 yards a carry or something horrible like that. So I think the offensive line in the run game and the pass game is still a big concern, and that may be why they struggle this season if they do.
JCK 510 brings up a great point. Yeah, Philly has a cakewalk division and schedule.